Hey everybody, glad to have you in Bible study tonight, and I hope that those of you who were there Sunday morning took away a lot of good thoughts that you can share with one another tonight. Also, those of you that were not able to be there, maybe this little recap will be able to be a blessing to you and help you in the discussion as well. We were talking about how God encourages the discouraged. Everybody goes through moments of discouragement. It might be because of health. It might be because of relationship problems. It might be because of circumstances that are beyond your control. But everybody gets discouraged from time to time. And we all need encouragement. And we've all received encouragement. And more than likely, we've all given encouragement. And so we need to reflect on those two areas. When you have been used by God to go ahead and grant encouragement to people who are going through discouraging times, what are some of the things that you have done? And you'll talk about that in the group tonight. And also, when you have personally gone through discouraging times, what are some of the things that other people have done that has been the most benefit to you? So as we discuss those things tonight, I think we'll be able to put some things in order that will be able to be a greater blessing in the future. And as we read through Acts chapter 18, Paul was going through a discouraging time. In fact, in 2 Corinthians, it simply says that he despaired of life. When he was coming up to the point where he was going to be speaking to the Corinthians, he was in a deep funk. He was having trouble. And so God took his occasion in coming to Corinth to be able to bring some encouragement to him. We talked about four things. Number one, companionship. God sent Timothy and Titus back to him. They had stayed in Athens and also in Thessalonica and Berea, and they were kind of finishing things up and helping everything. And so Paul was all alone. And those are moments of really difficult discouragement when you're all alone. And so God reconnected him. He also brought two new people into his life, Priscilla and Aquila. And they were a giant blessing and are going to continue to be a giant blessing as we march on through the book of Acts. The second thing was converts. There is nothing that you will ever do that will bring more encouragement to your life than when you're involved in helping somebody else find a relationship with Jesus, to have their sins forgiven. Helping people find Jesus brings you encouragement. As Paul said in Galatians 6, whatever you reap, that you will also, or whatever you sow, that you will also reap. And so when you sow the gospel, you're going to reap the results of the gospel. And then in verses 9 through 11, we talked about his communion with God. He sought God, and God brought back to him personal encouragement as only God can do. It's great when other people are there to help us and everything, but the encouragement we need most is that comes from God. And then the last part of the message was God uses circumstances to bring encouragement to people. And I think we could all name certain things in our lives that have happened that when we were going through a difficult time, that when those circumstances arrived, it gave us a breath of fresh air. It gave us new life. It gave us the encouragement to go on. And Paul went through that with Gallio, who could have made it impossible for Paul to continue to minister in Corinth. And instead, Gallio and the circumstances that he allowed to happen for Paul benefited the preaching of the gospel. Even though Gallio wasn't even a Christian, God used those circumstances to give him the encouragement to say, I can go on. I'm not done. And he stayed in Corinth probably as long as any single town that he ever went to. And it was because of these circumstances. So as you go through this discussion tonight, I come back to our beginning point. Remember the things that you've experienced that brought you encouragement, and also remember some of the things that you have done for others who are going through discouraging times. God bless, and have a great discussion tonight.